We currently possess the most advanced technical tools and sophisticated political platforms in history. Yet, despite this access to data and discourse, our shared global crises are not stabilizing, they are intensifying. When we encounter a failing economy or an environmental threat, our reflex is to treat it as a technical glitch. We look for a more efficient algorithm, a specific policy tweak, or a new diplomatic treaty to manage the friction. In a highly interconnected system, applying a localized fix often creates a new point of failure. When this node is isolated and patched, the structural tension is simply transferred to the surrounding web, causing these adjacent connections to snap. Most public debates focus on which nodes to patch, but these arguments rarely touch the deeper questions of why the network is under such extreme tension to begin with, or what actually motivates the people who build it. It suggests that the very logic we use to solve our problems might be what keeps the crises in motion. True progress requires us to look past these mechanical quick fixes. We have to reassess the basic structures of how we organize as a species. If we step back, current global events stop looking like random accidents. They appear as a single, continuous sequence involving the entire planet. Rather than a collection of separate, competing nations, we can see humanity as a single organism. Right now, that organism is moving through the volatile, high-friction stage of its late adolescence. Reaching global maturity is not just a hopeful idea. It is the biological necessity for our continued survival. It is the next stage of our development. When we view humanity as one family, our definition of a solution changes. A fix that only benefits one branch of the family while depleting the others is no longer seen as a victory, but as a systemic failure. This shift in perspective changes how we think about justice. In a world of fragments, justice is often about getting what belongs to us and keeping it from them. This is a closed-loop system. When resources are funneled aggressively to one side, the foundation becomes unbalanced. The weight on the winning side eventually causes the entire structure to tilt and crack. In this model, cooperation is not just a moral preference, it is a structural requirement. If the parts do not coordinate, the whole system breaks apart. When those resources are distributed to support the entire frame, the cracks disappear, becoming a reinforced truss. This logic applies to how we manage global energy, food, and environmental health. Large, complex systems are made of people. Change only begins when an individual stops following the momentum of the crowd and begins to question the direction we are all moving in. The goal of this inquiry is not to win an argument or force a specific ideology on others. It is about moving from being a passive observer of world events to being an active participant in how we rebuild our society. This requires a new kind of curiosity, one that is willing to engage in honest dialogue with people outside our own social or political circles. Because a global system is essentially the sum of billions of human interactions, the system cannot change its nature until the individuals within it change how they interact. This makes personal responsibility the literal foundation of any large-scale renewal. The crises we face today, from economic instability to social division, feel overwhelming because we are still looking at them through the lens of the old, fragmented model. This graph shows a stress curve hitting a breaking point, but watch what happens when the perspective rotates 90 degrees. That curve of extreme tension now functions as a weight-bearing arch. The energy threatening to destroy the structure now supports a much larger one. To build on that arch, we have to be willing to walk away from old certainties and the safety of our tribal identities. Are you willing to re-examine the foundations of your own worldview to meet the scale of these challenges? The future is not a fixed destination we are drifting toward. It is built on the specific, difficult questions we are willing to ask ourselves today. Engaging in this dialogue is more than an intellectual exercise. It is the first practical step toward a species that is finally capable of coordinating its own survival.